So welcome back, and we're already jamming along on slide 11, and we're picking up with veins, and these have much lower blood pressure. They're much thinner walls than arteries, although there are still three tunics. And veins always return blood to the heart. So the blood inside of these vessels, the veins, is very much lower in oxygen. It's called deoxygenated blood. The thing about veins that's a little different from arteries is that they have valves. Now, we studied valves in the heart chapter, such as the tricuspid valve, mitral valve, pulmonary valve, that type of thing. So we know that it's like, literally, if you watch my fingers, three cusps of skin, and they'll open and let the blood come through and then seal down and close real tight to keep blood from backflowing. So that's what that's about. And basically, the veins do have three tunics, and they contain about 65% of the blood flow at any one time that's coming through the body. Hey, let's stop and do a quick review. This seems like a good time to ask you a couple of questions to see if you're awake. Are you awake? I hope so. Take a look at question number 1. What is the innermost structural layer of an artery or vein? So we studied three tunics. Can you tell me? If you said tunica interna, you would be right. How about question 2? What's the main distinction between elastic arteries and muscular arteries? Think about it, think about it, think about it. If you said elastic is closer to the heart, bada bing, you're right. And lastly, what's the smallest of the arteries? What do you think? Oh, I hope you said arterioles, and I hope you did not say capillaries, because the key word in this question is arteries, smallest of the arteries, and that would be arterioles. All right, pushing on, we're on slide 13. We got a discussion going on. Hey, what's blood pressure? What's your blood pressure? What do you know about blood pressure? Good way to think of it is like when the heart contracts and the force of it against something, bam, the force of it against the blood vessels, bam. So every time that the ventricles contract, it's going to put some force on your arteries. Bam! And that's what we're talking about with blood pressure, and we can measure that and measure it in millimeters of mercury. So we want to understand blood pressure. Usually if you get your blood pressure at the doctor, you have a number like this, 118/76. That top number right there is called systolic. That's your top number. It's the pressure exerted on your artery walls when your ventricles first contract. Bam! And this bottom number right here is when the ventricles have finished contracting and they relax. And so that's called diastolic pressure. And lastly, in order to maintain blood pressure, a couple things have to happen. After all, we have a lot of different organs in the body, and the heart and the brain have to work together to control the constriction of blood vessels and also control your kidneys. If all these things are cooperating, everybody's getting along really well, you usually have normal blood pressure. But if for any reason anything's gone wrong and you have too much sodium in the diet and the kidneys aren't handling it really well, or you're super dehydrated, you can have all kind of blood pressure problems. And we'll be talking a lot more about blood pressure, so hold that thought.